Live, everybody. Are we live? I'm gonna scoot us a little closer, just a little closer, just a little closer, just a little closer, a whole lot closer, actually. Yeah, thanks for following me. Thanks for following me, guy. All right, turn back around. All right, turn back around. Yo, I'm over here. Yo, I'm over here. Yo, it's the mirrors. That's what it is. Yo, yo, yo. Okay, there we go. All right. Ah man, I know I am. I do appreciate you guys waiting on us. We're gonna give people a little bit of time to get in here. I had the original time set for 6 p.m. However, you know, you know, kind of like what we're kind of gonna be talking about today. We're gonna be talking about black people, and maybe I was on stereotypical time, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? And I do appreciate you guys being here today. We are the biggest, by the way. For those of y'all that's gonna be watching this back, don't forget to hype up the video, double tap the screen, comment, share, subscribe. I appreciate you guys being here. I have a very unique guest here, and as soon as we get a couple more people in, we're going to introduce ourselves and get it going. Let me make sure all of our optics are sounding appropriate. Let's see. This is a good one today, guys. It's the conversation that you guys want to have. So this is King of the Blacks episode. That's the name of this show. With this particular episode, King of the Blacks episode 3. That's what this is. So let's see here. Let me get myself together so I can let the gentleman introduce himself. Okay, we got a little glare there. It's all good. Beasky the shooter, what's happening, brother? I appreciate you stopping in, bro. I see you doing your thing on the lives too, man. Keep going, bro. Keep going. All love. All love. We got a little glare there. All right, so I'm at 3, my magic number. Welcome in, everybody. Don't forget to double tap the screen, like, comment, share, subscribe. Hype up the video once you see it fully published. We are the biggest, by the way. I go by the name Solar Man, and today we're talking to a law enforcement gentleman. I personally know this gentleman myself. But not only is he involved in law enforcement, but also he happens to be of the melanated community. So I think that's a very interesting thing. You know what I'm saying? Again, don't forget to tell your friends about us because this conversation is very much needed. I'm going to let the gentleman introduce himself, and then we're going to kind of get started on the conversation.
Hey everybody, my name is Dearius Price. Uh, I've done law enforcement for Hamilton PD. Also do armed security, and then after that, I did armed security at hospitals. So I know a little bit about the ins and out on policing and how they interact with the community and whatnot.
All right. So, yeah, man, don't sell yourself short. You keeping America safe and making America great again. I don't know. I've been watching your page a little bit, and from what I see, it does seem to me that you are you a Trumper?
Uh, Trumper, I voted for him, yes. So if that makes me a Trumper, then
Oh,
we
it
can say
certainly
yes.
does.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Certainly does.
Yeah, voted for Obama, and then I took a break, didn't care about politics, and I voted for Trump.
You're old. You voted for Obama and Trump.
Yeah,
Oh
man. Yeah,
man,
as soon as I turned 18, I voted for Obama.
you've been exercising your rights. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
and then I took a break.
Okay, and we look good too. All right. So let me set the stage, and let's just get right into it. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about was a few different things today. Um, Here's the thing, bro. This is my position. I'm going to take the position of blacks
Mhm.
and the general sentiment that we have towards law enforcement, towards authority, towards really whites, because that's what this is about. Really whites. And then I'm going to yield the floor for you to have the position that you take as well. Being that you have been around these, I'll classify them as we consider them as the around these whites that have authority over us Negroes. Being that you've been around them, I feel like you have a unique position to really know what they feel and how they talk. Because I have my own theories about how they talk. I've been around them. I grew up around them. I went to school with them, and I really have my own, like I said, my own theories about how they talk. But this is my position. My position is that America has never been for Black people. America has only ever been against Black people, and since the inception, particularly of law enforcement, it has only been used to discriminate and to antagonize and to basically marshal and congregate Black people like cattle. And we have seen this, and I'll yield the floor. We have seen this after the emancipation of slavery. We did have a police force, but it was by community. We did not see this federally funded until after slavery ended. And then once slavery ended, that's when you see kind of the militarization of police, not just through George Floyd and stuff like that, but just where the government has actually funded this to be, something that they value and interest. And we do have a prison industrial complex that is compromised of melanated people. And with that being stated, how do you feel about that? And yeah, that's my original position.
All right. My thing is, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by the whole. I've been around the people that have power over us because when I was an officer, no fellow officer had power over me per se, unless they were, our bosses. Like, everything has an anarchy. So I don't know about that, or your regular white person doesn't have power over you. So hopefully we don't think that in today's world that your white neighbor down the street has more power over you as an individual than you do them. Like, y'all both live on the same street, y'all just different colors. But if we talking about the government, which has power over all us little people, then yeah, I agree with you in some sense. Um, when I worked for the PD, honestly, I didn't feel discriminated against when I was there or whatnot. There was only a few other Black officers there, and I felt like, yes, that's probably more of a brotherhood. So it's hard to talk about, like, as far as like, did they only like me because I was there or not? But I can only speak on what I know and what I've seen working there, or what I've seen what we dealt with on the street. And at the end of the day, it seemed like most police like don't like criminals. So regardless of what color you are, like they not gonna feel as much like if you especially a violent one, regardless of it of like how you are, they're gonna feel some type of way about you in the sense of they might be more on guard with certain people and whatnot. Um, but that all comes with training and stuff. Like, and can it be better? Yes, I will never say it's perfect. No system is perfect. No government system is perfect. No agency or business is perfect when it comes to dealing with people. I will never say that. There's just some stuff law enforcement needs to work on to better help the community or be a part of the community. Yes, they do. I will never say that's not the case.
Right on, right on. Real mellow fellow right here. And through my okay, let me address a few things that you said. I'm going to try not to write down notes because that's cheating a little bit, but I'm going to try to make sure I get it off the top of my head. So when I say whites that have power over us, would you agree that this country was founded and made for white Anglo-Saxon men?
Yeah, yeah,
For
I'll say
sure.
that.
Okay. So my position is that since this country, so let me get to my point. This country was founded for white Anglo-Saxon free men. It was not really upper class Anglo-Saxon free men. It was not founded for middle class people. It was not founded for even white middle class people. It was not founded for them. It was founded for the upper elite echelon. Um, with that being stated, the sentiment of "Make America Great Again," I believe, well, I know through my own research that "Make America Great Again" is only to incentivize and get us back to a place of having the whites as the majority culturally on the workforce, and basically the reason that we have a sentiment like "Make America Great Again" is because we're getting to a place in the country where uh, they're not necessarily the majority like they used to be over the last 75 years. They're not the majority, and they're not having as many babies and stuff like that. So when I say that they are, come on, help me, Lord. When I say that they are power over us, historically speaking, and even to this day, even though that they're not having as many babies, even though that the country is becoming more melanated, more different, diverse backgrounds, still primarily speaking, they make up the majority of the workforce as far as the top tier, the bosses. They make up the majority of the Senate, Congress. So that's the government that does have power over us. That is absolutely correct. However, by and large speaking, the silent white majority is what I just like to refer to them as. Are still the majority. They still really they make the rules. This country. I'll give you another prime example. The Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan started after slavery as well, and also it's just now getting to a point. I don't know if you know this. You should. You a OG Cincinnati dude. Uh, the Ku Klux Klan and the police force used to be almost kind of intertwined, as far as many of the officers, many of the your teachers, your banksmen, your judges, they were all part of this organization. Even in this city right here, Cincinnati, Ohio, up until 2008, they used to have rallies downtown at the square. This was something that just used to happen. So what I'm saying is that, yeah, we're at a place right now where, yeah, you and I can walk around freely. I mean, I own this house. I don't, I'm not being suppressed. I'm not being oppressed. However, the general sentiment is, and the general just vibe out there is that that energy didn't just leave; it just transferred to something else. So I've had. Let me just state it like this, bro. I've had wonderful interactions with police, but I've also had very, 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 very not good interactions with police. You know, and was some of that my fault? Perhaps I antagonized the situation. I'm not going to take that away. But was a lot of that or other that I feel, because you said a good point here too. You said they don't like criminals. I don't like criminals either. But you know who steals the most per capita? Those guys. But no, the silent white majority. They steal the most per capita. They commit the most fraud per capita. They also commit the most rape per capita. And we talk a lot about black on black crime, which I do want to get into with you, how you feel about that. But I just find it. I'm curious as to, okay, if everybody's committing crimes, if everybody's stealing, if everybody's doing all this stuff, why is it that I feel like we're the ones that are being hovered over as far as just being watched? Like, for example, in Lincoln Heights, Ohio, we used to have our own police department. Now we have the sheriff's department. Was it dangerous in Lincoln Heights? For sure. But again, I'll finish with this point. The most drugs, I'm telling you right now, the most drugs that I've seen personally, that I've been around, most drugs are in these suburbs. I don't believe that the most drugs are in the hood. Are there drugs in the hood? For sure. Is there crime in the hood? For sure. But why aren't they over them just the same way, generally speaking? Why aren't they over them the same way that they're over us?
Well, I can't give you a definitive answer if I don't know the numbers and I don't have the numbers in front of me. And I don't like to make baseless opinions off of like how I feel. But I just know when I worked for Hamilton, the majority of the people that we arrested for drug offenses or found drugs on were white people. But even though there was black neighborhoods, the most of the drugs we found were on white people. So it goes by the area and what's more prevalent in those certain areas. Like I knew if it's 3 a.m. and I see a beater driving, white male, let's try to find a way to pull him over.
You're gonna try to find a way.
We're gonna try to find a way to pull him over. And this is why like a lot of the community, a lot of the not the community, but the public, they don't know they don't know that there's workarounds to try to get the outcome you want, or if you want to look for something. So like let's say I'm like, oh, it's 3 a.m. This car, what is he doing in this area? This is a known drug area. But he might be just going home. But it's like, all right, we're gonna find a way to pull him over. If he and it'll be something like he didn't use his turn signal. Sometimes you pull people over for that. Most of the times you don't. It's like I'm gonna pull him over for that. That gives me a reason for the stop. And then when you get to the window, you start asking questions. And then you can always ask people. And sometimes a lot of people do say yes. Like, okay, can we search your car? You don't have to, but if you say yes, you just gave it to me. So I'm gonna search your car. If I don't find nothing, cool. You on your way? Most likely give you a warning. Like, oh, we ain't find drugs on this one. So it's like proactive policing when like calls aren't coming through. You have to make stuff happen for yourself, and that comes with traffic stops or just stopping to talk to people. And in Hamilton, I can't speak like in like it might be different in Lincoln Heights, but in Hamilton, it was mainly the white people that I've noticed was a pattern that were dealing with the hardcore drugs. That's when I got introduced to hardcore drugs. I wasn't introduced to hardcore drugs when I lived in Lincoln Heights, but I was also a shelter. I wasn't allowed to go outside late at night when the kids were on the corner chilling and stuff. I'm like, if y'all ain't playing football, I ain't outside. But that was me. Like that was my mental. Like my mental was like, if y'all ain't riding bikes, if y'all ain't out here playing football, like you know what I mean, with each other, I honestly don't know what we standing around doing. That ain't me. So like I never done that. So I don't know that side of it. I know Lincoln Heights had their own police force, but I can't exactly remember why they stopped. I know there was some corruption they were talking about, and they had to disband the whole force. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
For sure. Hey, he said, welcome in. Those of y'all that's just now joining in. I appreciate y'all waiting on us. And I appreciate y'all patience and y'all being here. Don't forget to double tap the screen, like, comment, share, subscribe. We are the biggest, by the way. We're bigger than everybody personally that y'all can think of. So today we talking to a police officer. And we just talking about some stuff that y'all feel like and stuff that I personally didn't thought myself. So I want to address something you just said. You said y'all find a way to pull somebody over. I've always believed that to be true. Answer me this before I get into my point, please. Is it true that you don't necessarily have to tell the person? You don't have to have a truthful reason for why you pull somebody over.
Yes, you should have a truthful reason why you pull you over.
You should have a
It shouldn't
truth.
be a lie.
Okay.
If the officer's lying, then that's just not a good officer.
For sure. So once you pulled them over for the truth, can you then lie to them during the course of your stop or whatever the case may be?
Not necessarily. Not at that point in the job. There is some points of the job where you can lie. Like if you won't get in trouble if you tell me, that yada yada yada. Or if you tell me who you know,
Ah,
you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Stuff like that. You can lie to them in
so
that sense. But in the midst of a traffic stop, you can't lie on why you stop somebody. Like that's because you're stopping them lawfully for a reason. It has to be lawfully, and you have to say the reason. The reason has to be the truth.
for sure. So the reason has to be the truth. But if you want to say, "Oh, if y'all got some weed in the car, I ain't gonna just tell me where it is, and we can work something out." That could be a lie.
And that could be a lie. It depends on how much weed is found and whatnot. Like, let's say I pulled over a group of kids. It's funny. I pulled over a group of kids. They had weed on them. We just confiscated the weed, dumped it. We let them all go. And it's like we looking for bigger fish. We looking for the people that's distributing to, like, the ones that are actually selling it, not the people that are buying it. You know what I'm saying? And y'all young, they were young kids, and we're gonna dump it right here. If y'all cool with that, we cool with that. We gonna dump it. Like y'all, they're like, all right, cool. Y'all go ahead, dump it. It's a bunch of young people. I end up seeing them probably about a couple months later downtown Cincinnati, and they for some reason they recognized me, and I was like, they was like, oh yeah, you work for you work. It was like years ago. I was like, yeah, I let y'all go though. Remember? Because there was a bunch of them. I'm like, yeah, the big group. I'm like, I let y'all go. Remember that? They was like, yeah, you cool. And we shook hands and went on the way. Because like, yeah, when I was a cop, I didn't like. It was weird people knowing me. It was weird people on the street knowing me, like from my profession. Because you don't know how people gonna act. So But I worked all the way in Hamilton, so like I rarely saw people I dealt with, because usually the people that are in Hamilton, they stay there, especially the ones that ain't up to no good. They not going downtown Cincinnati looking for trouble. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, you're not supposed to lie on why you stopped anybody, because this will also stop you, and you have to let them know why you stopped them. So if that's happening, that's why we have court systems for you to fight it. Not saying you're gonna win it, but it's better to fight in court than argue with that individual right then and there. That's not gonna get you nowhere.
That's a good point right there, and I advocate for that as well. I've never told y'all this. Welcome in, T Bear. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate your time, dog. Uh, that's a good point right there. Y'all don't hold court on the side of the road. It's not gonna work for you. That's not where you do that at. You might as well just take your ticket or whatever they're gonna do and go on about your business. I'm an advocate for that. I'm an advocate for closing your mouth and really having that constitutional right of being quiet. answer the questions that need to be answered, et cetera, et cetera. But other than that, go on about your business. Um, so this is what I'm getting at, bro. I feel like I know that. Okay, so now I want to pivot the conversation a little bit. I want to pivot the conversation to Epstein and stuff like that there. Because there there's, let me just talk about what's being accused. Cannibalism is being accused. Child slavery and prostitution is being accused. Has been proved as well. All of these things. Necrophilia, taking the little kids and they dead bodies and doing stuff with it. Or sacrificial, the demonic, real satanic stuff is going on. Stuff that I know it sounds like I'm not saying this to insult you, but it sounds like it would be above your pay grade to really investigate. But I'm saying, like, why are us the little guys? We're so and I'm asking a question that I should be asking senators and stuff like that too. And as I get to that point, I will. I assure you. But what I'm asking is, why is it that why are y'all pulling us over for weed? I mean, I know it's illegal. You know what I'm saying? I know it's illegal. I know I shouldn't have no cocaine on me. I know I shouldn't have no heroin on me. I know I shouldn't do none of this stuff. But these things are minuscule in relation to, like, who the actual enemy is and what's actually going on out here in these streets, because these streets is like the lowest tier. Are you familiar? And then I'll yield the floor back to you. Are you familiar with Reaganomics? All right. So Reaganomics, President Ronald Reagan. I'm saying, who got this highway named after? President Ronald Reagan. He introduced something called the War on Drugs. That's where you get your DARE program and all that type of stuff from. But also during his time, black civil rights leaders, that's where you get the no tolerance programs and stuff like that for. Meaning, if we catch you with this, whatever the case may be, no tolerance for it. We're cleaning up our streets. We're bettering our community. I would argue that kind of like it set a precedent where we're at now, as far as the harsher, what I would consider harsh policing that we may have here. But I say all that to say, Reaganomics during this time too, in the early '80s, when this was first, because we're coming off of '70s era cocaine. That's when Reaganomics started, when he got elected, like what, in 82, 84. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but 82, 84, something like that. And when he got elected, that's when, again, he got with he was a racist, by the way. But when he got elected, he worked with people like Jesse Jackson, and these civil rights leaders who I don't believe are necessarily for the community. But he worked with them, and then that's when you've seen an influx of what's been proven by the CIA, an influx of drugs being dumped in our communities. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say, bro, that they're answering me this. Do you believe that there was a deliberate attack on the black community as far as drugs and stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah, I would say that. Like the whole, like you said, that we said crack in the '80s and stuff like that. CIA dumping in the communities. I can agree with that.
Okay. And then my next question would be, excuse me, my next question would be, since that's the case, why do you think, or what do you think can be done to police the people who tell y'all need to police us?
Honestly, I think that's the question on everybody's mind, because with this whole Epstein stuff and whatnot, it has opened the door that we keep complaining about a red versus blue issue or a white versus black issue, and it's the haves or the haves not issue. It's the people up top, and we fight over the crumbs and bicker amongst each other when they allowed to do whatever they want. And I don't know what the smaller people can do locally, as far as like your local PD and stuff like that. That they have no jurisdiction on what the elites do if it's not in their, if not, like,
It's not in their county.
if that's not in their county, not in their district, like, what I mean, that there's nothing they can do as far as that. Well, and I don't want to get all radical on the fact is, like, the only way, if they don't do nothing to themselves, like if the FBI, like the federal stuff, if they don't do nothing as far as like the files and whatnot, the only way something be done is you have to go down that one road that there's no turning back on. People got to get their hands dirty, but that's totally another thing. I I think as far as like just as far as like a community based on whatnot, we need more people and more good people into law enforcement that know right from wrong, but that still want to police the community in a way that's like it's yes, you're upholding the law, but you're also like giving back to community in a way, like talking to kids. Like I used to go to schools when I worked the day shift. I used to go to schools, talk to the kids, um, the high schools, the middle schools, the elementaries, and I used to do that, like, and to show kids a positive look, like they don't have to be scared of me. Like, parents be like, "Oh my goodness, there's a cop." Like I don't think that's good when they like mess with their kids to kind of make them be scared of them, like in a jokeful way. It's like we're there to help you. Like I will risk my life to protect you, and I don't think those conversations are being had. Like some people are willing to lay their life down to make sure you're okay. When you call and say you need help, like people are running lights and sirens to get there when your average person is running away from the situation, rightfully so, because you got to be cut from a different cloth to put yourself in a dangerous situation that could be violent or could be life threatening in a sense. And we just need better community policing and whatnot. It shouldn't be a us versus them kind of thing as far as like the public and police, because at the end of the day, we all part of the community. Once you take your uniform, once you take off any 9 to 5 job, once you take off your uniform or whatever, you at home, you just a regular person, just like anybody else in the grand scheme of things. Like, then that's what it is. It shouldn't be your identity. And I feel like when I was working police at Hamilton, it wasn't my identity. I worked my 9 to 5, and I went home and
You left the badge at work.
you know what I'm saying? Like that was me. Like you wouldn't look at me and know I was a cop just for like how I dress and how I carry myself. Like I wasn't clean cut, uh always my collar shirts button stuffed into my pants, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't me. So you wouldn't tell. But I feel like on the smaller, before we get to the big stuff of what they doing, which they shouldn't be doing, I haven't looked enough into the files to know what's true and what's hearsay. So I won't speak on it. If they doing evil stuff, if the powers that be can't get them, then the man upstairs will. That's how I gotta look at it.
That's a good point. We're gonna take a small commercial break. We shall return in just a second. Just a second. Just a second.
All right. No, it's cool. It's cool. Damn, I don't want to be on camera while I'm sitting here.
All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all waiting. This show is sponsored by water. Drink more water, hydrate yourself, and if you hydrate yourself, make sure that you take appropriate bathroom breaks. Now, I appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to double tap the screen, like, comment, share, subscribe. We are the biggest, by the way. We're bigger than everybody that you personally can think of. You said some stuff that's pretty cool, bro. And I wanted to talk about my personal opinions real quick. My personal opinions is that I'm not anti-police. I actually think police is the best thing that we can do. I'm not anti-government or any of those things. I think that we need government. I think that we need police. Literally, you alluded to it as well. It's not the force of the police that's the issue. It's the people that are in these positions. You need good people doing good jobs. That's what I believe. So, stuff like Blue Lives Matter, for example. We can talk about how you feel about that a little bit. But I do know that Blue Lives Matter was created as a direct result of Black Lives Matter. I know that to be a fact. But I also know that there were some police that were being targeted, and I don't agree with that either. So I think we're in this weird position just as people, just as a community. We're in this weird position. We're in this weird position, guys, where we're looking for somebody to beat up and punch on, and the people that we want to beat up and punch on are the ones that are closest to us and around us, but aren't necessarily the causes of said destruction that we see going on in this country, or why the reason that this country is headed this way. I think the reason that this country is headed this way is because it's intentionally done so. And you said something cool as well, bro. You said it's not red or blue, because red or blue, they have their own self interest and they have their own. You ever heard of APAC?
Mhm.
Yeah, red and blue are both. Your money's being sent to Israel. A lot of stuff like that is going on, guys. So it's like, red and blue, regardless of what game they give you or what rhetoric that they're spitting towards you, they all have their own agendas, and it's uniquely interested in using your resource and your emotion to leverage you to fit their agendas. So, long story short, we don't need less police. I'm not a defund police type of guy. That's stupid. Because we got this Second Amendment right type of thing, and we're in a country where we have the most guns and we have the most shooting violence of any North American continent. I'm not so sure on those numbers. We would have to fact check that later. But we have the most shooting violence in the world. We're at least top five. I know that we need police. And I know that our system of government is the best way, is literally just the way or the people that we have in positions of power. So you said something also too, as far as how do we attack the Epstein stuff. You got to understand, bro. The only reason that they was allowed to do what they was allowed to do, I'm gonna push back on this, was because that they have people like y'all in front of them. They're allowed to get away with what they do is because they utilize their resources to, a soldier is a soldier because he follows orders. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it'll be the people's revolution, but then who's going to shoot us when we get our hands dirty? It's going to be law enforcement. That's who's going to hurt us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how does the revolution really start unless we're all on the same page? And right now we're so politically divided. And I think we're so politically divided as well. Regardless of what you feel about politics, I disagree. And I disagree on his politics as well. Not all of them, but most of them. But I don't like the way he carries himself and the way that he presents himself nationally. I think if you're going to be in the highest position, there should be a level of decorum where you shouldn't at least be you shouldn't be cussing on live TV. You know what I'm saying? I also though, on the Democrat side, the reason I didn't vote for Kamala, I didn't vote for the red either. I voted for somebody from Cincinnati. You know what I mean? So I threw away my vote. But he represented my values. But in the Democratic side, I'm saying a lot of different things to respond to whatever you feel necessary. But on the Democratic side, I didn't vote for Kamala because she had Megan Thee Stallion. That was one of the reasons. She had Megan Thee Stallion at a rally shaking her butt on stage. And I'm just like, yo, you think I'm a fool. You think I'm a fool. You don't respect me. You don't respect that I have children in the home. You don't respect little black girls, period. Like, there should be no reason at a political event. That goes for red too. They had a little pimp on stage. He called him a little pimp. They had a little pimp and Kodak Black coming on. I don't want to see them. I don't care what a rapper thinks. I don't care what Ja Rule thinks, bro. I don't want to hear what Ja Rule think in a time like this. I want to know your policies, how you're going to exercise my dollars that I'm giving you and paying your salary with, how you're going to use that. So I think both sides are playing me like I'm a fool. And I don't think, I'll end on this point. We've been getting called, and I know I say this all the time. We've been getting called consumers for the last 10 years when I thought I was an American citizen. I'm not a consumer, and I'm getting treated like a lick. That's basically what that's layman's term for, y'all. It's called a lick. They're treating you like a lick. They're treating you just like they're serving you information. They just decriminalized weed federally as well, so they serving me for real now. Anyways, what do you think about choose any of those topics that I just mentioned and go off of, and then we just gonna keep going like that?
As far as like, the whole getting your hands dirty in the revolution thing, yeah. At the end of the day, and I hope the powers that be do what needs to be done and charge the people that need to be charged, because I see people online, they talk about revolution and civil war like it's from the movies. Like, it's like life or death is scary. You might have to go against your neighbor, and that's something I don't want to live in a place like that. Like, that's genuinely scary. a lot of deaths like that. Nobody should be advocating for that. None of y'all should be advocating for that if you don't understand what that consists of. Because, like I said, people gonna make a decision. Not even law enforcement, National Guard, military. Like, if it gets down to where you think it's going to get down to, everyone's going to have to make a decision on where they stand on the fence. And to piggyback on the left versus right thing, at the end of the day, I see it like this. I voted for Obama once, took a break, didn't care about politics. I'm like, man, at the end of the day, I got to pay bills. Why would I care who the president is? Like, I felt like it didn't affect me on a personal level. I voted for Trump this election solely because I felt like we were losing our sense of reality on like real life things, like what's a woman, what's a man, like stuff like that. Once we kind of fell down that rabbit hole, I'm like, hold on, can we, like, yeah, we going a little bit too far with this kind of stuff. So that kind of led me over to one side, but I can't say I'm definitely not loyal to any political party. And if you are, that's a shame. We should be open minded and go where we have our best interests at whoever's on whatever political field. The fact we have left and right is probably the worst thing that's happened to us because we're so divided. We can't even see it. We can't even agree to disagree on anything. We're cutting off family members and disowning each other off of political beliefs like it's a religion. It's not a religion at the end of the day. God is king at the end of the day. So what are we doing bickering over, like bickering actual human connection and relationships with someone you love off the base of who they went to the ballot to vote for? Like that would never, like, I don't know if you see about the stuff I post. Like at the end of the day, like I never block people or unfriend people for having a different opinion. Like I'm glad I see your different opinion because it makes me think. I don't want to live in a, what they call that, like a vacuum, whatever they call it, like a vacuum on social media where you just see the same stuff that all agrees with you. So it makes you look like you're right. If everything you see is from people that think like you and agree with you, then what is life if we can't have disagreements? My thing is, I feel like what's wrong right now is we're having disagreements, and to act out on those disagreements, we're being violent towards each other. Like violence is okay. Violence is not okay just because we disagree. I don't know I don't know when that became popular. I don't know why that's a thing, but we shouldn't be fighting each other. We shouldn't be verbally assaulting each other over a difference of opinions. And we definitely shouldn't be harming each other as far as violence just because of difference of opinion or thought. Because at the end of the day, it's opinion or thought. It's not laced in fact. So what do we, I don't know. It's just,
I feel that, dog, and I feel your spirit, man. And yeah, I be seeing your posts. That's the reason I hit you up to do this interview, and I appreciate you coming through and following through with it. Because yeah, this guy gets a lot of hate online, and for somebody that's received a lot of hate online as well, I empathize with it because but when you're not in control of your own personal life, you feel very strongly, and you have to let that be known publicly. Under comments and stuff like that there. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about that. I feel like people who are actually in control of their own personal lives, meaning they're responsible. What's the word? You said it earlier. Accountable. They're accountable for their own emotions, for their own lives, and for their own trajectory of where they're going and the decisions that they make and the people that they choose to associate with. You don't really necessarily. I might disagree with you for sure, but I don't have to call you. You know what I'm saying, whatever I feel about you.
Yeah.
I ain't got to do that because, you know what I'm saying, I'm in control of myself. I'm in control of my body. And, how you feel don't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? Primarily speaking, I do want to a little bit emphasize on this revolution topic. Y'all let us know how y'all feel about the conversation, by the way, in the comments. I appreciate y'all being here. I want to emphasize on this revolution thing a little bit. This is how I feel about it, bro. If and I want to know what's the general sentiment of law enforcement per se, because I got people that are in the military as well. I got I know you in law enforcement. I know some other people in law enforcement as well. One who's about to be in the Secret Service as well. That's pretty cool. But I want to know what's like the general sentiment as far as like, are people just doing their job and man, oh shit, that's crazy. Like Jeffrey Epstein stuff, that's crazy. Like, that's crazy. You hear what they're doing. Like, are you kind of like, is the general sentiment like they kind of like responding like how we responding, like, damn, that's crazy, back to work type of thing? Or, is it like, damn, we need to do something about it? Like, what's the general sentiment that you've seen and experienced? And then I'll get back to my point.
Honestly, I feel like everybody is right now is just like, oh, that's just crazy. Like, I hope they do something about it, or vice versa. Like everybody continued to go back to work the next day once they drop. Like nothing's changed as far as that. People are talking about it. Everybody's talking about it at work or they speak on it. But it's like I'm waiting to see what the FBI going to do about it. If they don't do anything about it, it's like I don't know. Like what's the group or what's the group like who's the next step, like what's the group of people or the organization that's going to spearhead actually getting something done with it if our alphabet agencies aren't going to do anything about it. So it's like I wouldn't know, and nobody wants to be, no small individual wants to be the face of something that will get ugly, regardless if it's for the positive motives, like something like a revolution. Because people going revolution, people going, I don't think people comprehend people going to die. Like what's going on in Mexico, that's not a revolution, but we still see how crazy it is right now with the cartel and stuff. That'll be times 10 when it comes to a revolution. Like that's I think people need to actively, like, your way of life will be changed forever if we go down that road. And I hopefully we can, you know, we have I hope I thought voting and stuff will help to where we get the good people in office, to where we all can agree that children should be off limits. Like God's children are not for sale. What are we doing to where we allow this to happen? That shouldn't ever be allowed to happen. On the smaller level locally and on the bigger level, we shouldn't have, your neighbors and stuff shouldn't be doing that, and so are the people up top. So my thing is, are we truly going to be a nation that allows this stuff to happen just because they're strong, they're powerful, and they're powerful and wealthy? We just gonna just act like it never happened, like, oh yeah, the Epstein thing, and let it bypass? Or is the powers that be gonna actually do something about it? Like we voted, y'all take our tax dollars, y'all supposed to protect us, y'all supposed to protect our borders, y'all supposed to protect our sovereignty, y'all supposed to protect the citizens. That's y'all job. Y'all supposed to govern us. If y'all can't govern us and and clean our house when you need to clean our house, then why are you there? Some things need to change.
Right on. Let's talk about one thing real quick. Cause you said something that I feel you, bro. I feel that there shouldn't be no violence. But we got to understand where we're at. We're in America, the United States of America, that was founded particularly on violence. Everything that we have in this country is because of violence. We maintain our position in the world, which is not at the top like it used to be, but we're still the general overseers of the planet. But we maintain that through violence, brother, through destruction, through murder, and then they called it Blitzkrieg in Germany, in Nazi Germany, and basically it's just the rushed assault of your military might on nations and stuff like that. We could argue, again, it's not a Democrat or Republican type of thing because they both send drone strikes, they both kill people. That's what we do. So I'll also mention this. We are the first nation on the planet where we're trying to move forward. And other nations have copied this as well, but we're the first nation on the planet where we're trying to move forward passively. We're trying to do it through our election systems. We're trying to do it through our tax dollars and stuff like that. And we're trying to see real change from complete tyranny and authoritarianism, you know what I'm saying, to something that we all agree upon. That's There's not one nation on this planet where that has successfully been done without violence. So if we do accomplish this, this will be the first time in history. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you brought up Mexico. Mexico is man, we can say a lot about Mexico. Mexico is they going through it right now. Shout out to Mexico and the Mexicans, the real Mexicans, but the Mexicans, shout out to y'all. And y'all got a lot of stuff going on right now. I'm not so educated on it, so I'm not gonna talk about it. But yeah, bro, I wanted to iterate that point. There's nothing that's been accomplished in this on this globe without violence, as far as the new world. So how do I see this going? This is how I genuinely see this going. I'll tell you who's getting it right. I'll start right there. Romania. Romania is getting it right now. Romania is prosecuting whoever. They don't care if you're a trillionaire. They don't care if whoever. They're prosecuting sex traffickers. They're prosecuting tech moguls, billionaires. If you had anything to do, any type of sex trafficking, you had accounts in Romania that were linked to Epstein or just linked to pedophilia, whatever the case may be, they're shutting it down. So Romania is doing that. UK, for as much as we are an offshoot of the United Kingdom, we're its little sister, little brother, whatever you want to call it. They at least on paper have taken steps towards holding their elite accountable. They just arrested Prince Andrew. He got out in 48 hours, but at least they did that. You know what I'm saying? They did that. They put him in handcuffs and then they took pictures. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even got nobody on pictures right now. You feel me? We ain't even got nobody sitting in the back of like, okay, go get them. Silicon Valley. Every single year, they have humanitarian conferences, and in Silicon Valley, they talk about different things that are affecting the planet. A lot of these tech moguls, Google, Microsoft, Nike, uh, eBay, etc. A lot of these people they go to these places and they talk about how there's too many people on the planet and how we need to reduce our numbers so we can reduce our carbon footprint so we can protect our planet and what does the future look like. I'll say all that to say a lot of these people are globalists. You know what a globalist is? I mean, not a globalist, or a populationist. You know what a populationist is? Somebody that feel like there should be less people. You know what I'm saying? How do you get to a position where there's going to be less people? Well, I can tell you some ways. You affect the food. You affect the general vibe of people. So there's less people having kids. You yeah, that's what's going on. They call it cloud seeding, but we used to call them chemtrails. That used to be a theory, but they call it cloud seeding, where they go up in the sky, they release ions and particles into clouds, and then they make it do stuff that it wouldn't naturally do unless you affected it. I say all that to you create viruses and stuff like that there. COVID-19, you know what I'm saying? You do stuff like that there. You know what I'm saying? So my point being is that this peaceful talk that we're at now, I feel like we're only talking about peace because we're in a position where we can talk about peace. Because I feel like we are a generation of spoiled children. The hard work that was done from like slavery, from like Jim Crow. That's just some modern examples. But the hard work that was done, as far as blood spilt and people dying, and people crying. Yeah, yeah, you are so right as far as people don't actually know what that looks like what's going to actually happen when blood is spilled, when those shots go off, and when you literally don't know what's going to happen next. Like, that's such a destructive time and a destructive place to be in. But when has change ever happened unless that happens? You know what I'm saying? So I'll end on this point. I understand that you speaking from a law enforcement type of perspective, and there's only so much you can do. Um, in a lot of these things, even if you wanted to go arrest some people, you still need a court order to do so for it to be a lawful arrest. You know what I'm saying? So, but we kind of like the institution has been compromised so much that we don't know like whose side, like either you're on the side of good or on the side of evil right now. And it's kind of like where do we go from here as far as our department? Who's supposed to do that? Our Department of Homeland Security is supposed to handle immigration. They are doing that. Actually, the Obama administration, they did that more than this Trump administration, but they kind of catching up. So it's not the Department of Homeland Security. It is the Central Intelligence Agency and the Federal Bureau of Investigation that's supposed to kind of be handling these people that are in these gated communities. They're not doing that. So when they're not doing that, then that's when we are go by our constitution, which says that if we feel like the government isn't doing what they're supposed to do, then we can form militias. You know what I'm saying? So I guess what I'm saying is that um, yeah, we need, in order for the revolution to work, we have to have police officers and army servicemen and marines and navy people. Then we need y'all to like be willing to throw y'all jobs away. How you feel about me saying that? Be willing to throw your job
Mm. The and not to be that guy, but the irony of the whole what's been going on since Trump's been back in office with ICE and the deportations and stuff. I remember I used to argue with people about the Second Amendment. I thought that was one of the most important amendments we had. because the only way you had the freedom of speech, you had the freedom to say whatever you want. And if people want to quote unquote be violent towards you, you got the Second Amendment that always protects you. Your second always protects your first. And that's what, and I've been preaching that for years. When I kind of went on this ideal change where I went from like like more towards the middle than all the way left or right or anything like that. What Trump is doing with ICE and whatnot has made people that are on the left actually care about their Second Amendment. Now they're talking about, standing up to, like, let's say with all this Epstein stuff, nothing never happens to it. Now we have people that know how important it is to have the Second Amendment and willing to fight for good and evil. And I remember there was once upon a time they just wanted to give everything to the government. We don't need that. Like, I can't tell you how many people I would have discussions with. There's like, well, why do you need that? Why do you need an AR? You don't need that. You can't fight the government. But now full circle, there's a government in power that you don't like. Now you think you can fight them. So I'm glad that everybody's on the same page that you can't trust the government fully at 100%. And if you ever did, you're a fool. And regardless of who I voted for, I know in my head you can't. I voted for Trump. Do I know? Do I think I can trust Trump in everything he does? No, you can't trust you can't trust your own sibling with anything they does. Like, it's just people. Everyone has their little secret agenda in their head that they can't, that they thoughts in their head that they won't tell you. So, and to come back to your point, as far as like, people are going to have to, if it gets to that, and like you said, and I never thought of this, but like you said, everything isn't peacefully. And my thing, not saying that the only way we have to do it is peacefully, but I'm just saying the people type in the comments on revolution and stuff. You can't be obese and never shot a gun and talking about revolution. That's mindless to me. If you don't have a group of people that are like minded, y'all don't train, y'all don't know how to clear rooms. Please don't talk about no dang on revolution. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm coming from. It sounds cool when you see it on the movie Star Wars, The Hunger Games. It sounds cool. Like, you want to be that, but you have to face reality. If you're not willing to do that, then you need to stop talking about it. Like, those individuals, you need to stop talking about it. Like, I'm seeing people talk about it that ain't built for it yet. You gotta move silently, build on it. Then you can talk about it. You shouldn't be in the comment section talking about no dang on revolution like that. That's what I'm getting at. But like you said, good stuff hasn't come unless, like you said, violence has to be a part of it, and that's everywhere in every country. And I'm just hoping that we don't have to get there. But I know in my head, and everybody, same person, know that hands might have to get dirty to get stuff done when it comes to good and evil. Yes, and I'll never amount to that. But I work out, I train, but I don't sit there online. Like, we got to do something about, like, come on, y'all. Like, that's, if you think you got to do, if you think we have a stage, we need to do something about it. Talking about it online in the comment section, it ain't the way to go. But, and I do agree with you. We got to figure out this Epstein stuff. We got to figure out how we can before the Epstein stuff. We got to figure out how we can come together as a community of people. Because at the end of the day, it's not a race issue. Like I said, it's not a color issue. It's not blue versus red. It's the upper class versus the elites, per se. Like you said, the populists, the people that want us gone. It's us versus them. But if we keep arguing about who we voted for and stuff, and the definition of a woman, then we're not going to get nowhere as far as like a revolution. We're not even going to get to that stage. We're not going to get to that stage. Like, cold-heartedly, honestly, we never going to make it to that stage if we disown and loved ones over who they voted for at the dang on elections, or if you agree with immigration or illegal immigration or not. Like, we're not even going to get. It's going to be more civil fighting amongst each other than it's a revolution. Y'all will talk about revolution. We might be closer to having civil because we can't communicate with each other. I'm seeing people getting assaulted for being either pro or anti-ICE. You shouldn't be getting beat up by your fellow citizens for stuff like that. So I don't think we nowhere near close to a revolution stage or us versus the man, because we fight amongst each other so much. We can't even talk to each other about like how we having a conversation. We might not see eye to eye on stuff, but we still like I still see you as a friend and stuff. and we can find some common ground. I feel like we have found some common ground during this conversation, and the more we talk, we see how like our ideals kind of intertwine in a certain way, even though we might not get there the same way. But a lot of people can't even have this type of conversation. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. You can't talk about revolution if half the country, if it has to, half the country hates the other half. Like, good luck. Like, you know what I mean?
I feel good. I got a friend, and you know that's what's up there. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm light skinned, and you know I be getting talked about online, and you know what I'm saying. So that's good. I appreciate you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. There will be no revolution at this moment. There will be pockets of people who do stuff. You know what I'm saying? There'll be a little pockets of militias, and you know there'll be people that be willing to bust their gun, but it's gonna be like 3 of them. I'll give you a perfect example of somebody who stands on principle, even though I wholeheartedly disagree with his rhetoric, disagree with him as a person, and think he's kind of a coward. But he's willing to stand on this principle. You ever heard of Jake Lang? Yep. He was a kind of like a white Jew type of guy in Minnesota who organized a white nationalist rally to counter the ICE protest that's going on in Minnesota. And he the dude that got saved by the black dude.
Oh, he was like getting assaulted.
Yeah, he was getting assaulted in the crowd.
Getting, like, dragged.
Yeah, they was about to rip him apart. You know what I'm saying? And then a black savior came and helped him. But you know how he feels about black people. Even though he got saved by that guy, he still he did an interview with Alex Jones. This is going to my point as far as why we can't get along. He did an interview with Alex Jones, and in that interview with Alex Jones was like, because he says vile things about black people. Like he doesn't mind calling us the hard R's. He doesn't mind. For sure. If you ever get a shot after this, check him out. It'll piss you off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I done came a long way too. Let me just state that for the record, people. For those guys who watching me, y'all know I done came a long way too. I used to get really, really like upset with these type of people, and I really felt like I had to defend myself. But again, the more and more that I get comfortable with myself, and I do think there's a lot of internal work that needs to be done with people in this country. The more and more I just look at anybody who's a bigot or a racist just kind of like a fool. I think you're foolish. You know what I'm saying? I could feel sorry for you. I don't feel sorry for you per se. I just feel bad for you, that you feel this way so strongly, but anyways, he was getting interviewed by Alex Jones, and during the interview, Alex was just talking to him like, you got to admit, Alex Jones, right? Yeah, you got to admit that, it seems like black people are coming around the corner, and you got saved by black people. And then he couldn't even say, yeah, I got helped by black people. He says those same black people that helped him was trying to rob him too. We didn't see that, but they escorted him all the way to the front doors of his hotel, and that's what we see in the video. And then we see him go in the hotel. He says he was still finna get robbed by him. And then he also, when he said that, he brought up a case of there was a white girl that was murdered on a bus. She was stabbed by a black dude. Have you heard about that case?
Yeah,
for sure. It was. I didn't see the video, but murder is bad. You know what I'm saying? There were black people that were advocating, like, yeah, finally, they're getting their justice. I don't agree with that sentiment either. Murder is bad. You know what I'm saying? Period. On the left or the right, black or white is bad. The reason black people feel like this because they feel like anytime something happened to whites, then it's justified because there's been a lot of stuff historically speaking that's been going on with blacks that's neither here nor there. But I don't agree that murder is good. Murder is not good. Self-defense is everything. Murder is not good. It talks about this in the word, and for a lot of people that claim to be Christians, it's like y'all are hypocrites. You know what I'm saying? But my point with Jake Lang is this: even though he got helped out by a black dude, he still is anti-black. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's one of the main points that I wanted to argue towards is that there's this Western nation, and then it is seeped into the whole world. This Western nation is anti-black. That's just been my it's my thought process on it. It's my experience. The first time I ever got called the hard R though, and I got called the hard R recently here too. It was in Blue Ash. You know what I'm saying, by an older white lady. But I got called the hard R. It was in the Philippines, if you can imagine. I got called the hard R in the Philippines, and it didn't make me feel good. But anyways, I say that to say, that the reason that we're so divided is because we want to be divided. You know, I'm pro reparations. I'm pro money being paid for a wrong that was never righted. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm pro reparations. I'm pro paying for it. I don't think money will fix everything. Just like we see in the Jeffrey Epstein case, he has settled for about. So we might not see some arrests, honestly, because in the U.S. he has settled about $350 million has been paid out to victims and different entities that were affected by him. So we might not see any arrests because of these settlements being made. Litigation in the U.S. is kind of like horrible because you can just pay for your sins. You know what I'm saying, if you have the capital to do so. So we may or may not see arrest people. Just so y'all know, 350 million has been paid out. He just recently, there's been an article published that 35 million was just paid out to the more recent accusers that have come out. But in a total, I did the math a couple days ago, 350. That's what's been paid out. So that's that. But yeah, there's people, bro, that really hate white people. There's white people that really don't like black people, regardless of what they do, regardless of how you carry yourself or whatever the case may be. Are those people willing to go to civil war over it? Not necessarily, because I think we're too busy. You know what I'm saying? We're 40-hour work weeks. It's hard for you to go kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, and most people aren't killers. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, most people are out of shape. Most people don't know how to clean a gun. Most people don't know how to take it apart. Most people don't know how to. Most people don't have it in them to take a life. And then those people that do have it in them to take a life are usually there's really kind of like something wrong with them if they're like willing to go do that to somebody who they just disagree with. Black and white. So we're in a space where we don't agree because we don't want to agree. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to agree. Uh, do I see that changing anytime soon? No. Particularly with this administration, again, not because of political ideology, even though they are doing some things that I personally vehemently see as evil, but particularly because it's kind of like this is going to be kind of like a pivot, y'all. But have you seen South Park?
Mhm.
Remember the episodes where they were talking about they had to go raise the bar because the bar had been lowered. It was in the yeah, the bar was in the ocean. So like the bar for just society had been lowered. So they had to go raise the bar. The bar has been lowered socially to where it's like, you know, uh I'll throw out this last example. President George W. Bush, growing up, I don't know about your parents, but my parents used to, everybody, not Republican and Democrat, you kind of be like, man, he sounds stupid. He talks stupid. Now when we hear him talk, he's like, oh man, he kind of makes sense. It sounds like he's coherent. And like anybody who says something intelligible, we value kind of like as having like, we view that as a good thing. Where normally, like, yeah, if you in politics or if you over the country or if you have any position of power, you should be able to speak well. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to. Another last example I'll throw out, the monkey video. How you feel about that?
The monkey video. When I first saw it, I was like, "Oh my goodness." Well, you done lost it. You know what I mean? And then like someone was like, but then I was like, let me hold my water because oh my goodness, the people know how to pull on your heartstrings. I'm gonna say that people are good at pulling on your heartstrings. They're good at showing you a piece of the story without showing. My thing is, I respect more people if you show me the whole thing and let me make an opinion on it. Don't show me a small clip to get a reaction, and then I'm like, damn, why you ain't show me the rest of it? Now, and you could be still deem it's wrong, but it's like, why hide that part from me? That's what I don't understand. When I saw the clip, I'm like, I saw just the monkey part. I was like, why you show a 2-second monkey part of Michelle Obama and Obama? And I'm like, that's weird. And then I saw the full video of them explaining how the 2020 election could have been rigged, and then the video auto swipe to the next video. When you're on social media, y'all know how the video goes from one video to the next. That video popped up. Now, if I'm doing a screen recording of a video and I want people to see this video and then another video pops up, I know how to edit the video and cut that last part out regardless what the video is. Now, I don't know if he did it on purpose. I don't know I didn't know I don't know if he controlled his own social media account. I assumed if you're the leader of the free world, you don't got time to be posting stuff your damn self. So I can't speak on it. But as far as like in the grand scheme of things, he went out his way to post Michelle Obama and Obama as monkeys. I don't I don't think so. And a bunch of people gonna hate me for that. It is what it is. I don't think personally, I don't think so. Like I've seen people that are quote unquote evil that will call you, that'll say racist remarks to your face, that'll post racist stuff. I don't think he went out the way to do that. Is it bad though? Should it have never happened? Should it have happened? No, because you're professional. This is administration. Like you're under the microscope. You live in a glass house. That's unprofessional. You even let that slip. Whoever posted the video for you, if you didn't post it yourself, should have watched the whole entire video. So like, I didn't like it. It wasn't a good look. Do I think at the end of the day, like that was like, do I think that was like he went out his way to do that? I don't think so. But at the end of the day, we all gonna make our opinions on it. He if he did make if he did I just don't see the benefit of him doing it. I don't know because like he know people hate him already. They do. They hate him. So why purposely put it out there? Purposely be out put something like that out there to make even more people hate you, or the people that already hate you just to hate you more at the end of the day. And like I don't want to defend him for his actions because I'm like that's bad. That's not professionally like if I posted a video and even though it wasn't meant to show that backhand of the video, it's still my fault for posting it. I didn't edit it out, regardless if people thought I did it right for wrong. Like you can get fired from your job for stuff you post, even though you're like, no, I posted, I screen record, and that video just popped up, and it's like, well, you didn't edit it out. That's your fault. Like let's say I posted something and had some nudity at the tail end of the video for another video. So no, I didn't like it. I didn't agree with it. Do I think it was done on purpose? No, but I can't prove it. You can't prove it. We can't prove it. But is it a bad look? It's a horrible look, terrible look. So that's my 2 cents on the dang on video. Dang, there was something else you said that I like, want to piggyback on. I can't even remember. But but dang. But yeah, on the whole us versus like we bickering with each other and fighting each other. I will say this as far as like um the hate has to stop. Like the hate period has to stop, especially if you're a believer. Like I know some people don't believe in God, but if you're a believer of Christ, you can't go around talking about you want people to get killed and stuff for their opinions. That's a no-go. I've seen people with Bible verses in their bios that are okay with assassinations. No, you're not. You're not who you say you are. And piggyback to get back on like stuff that happened in here, like in Ohio and stuff in Cincinnati. We all know about that father that ran over that police officer, downtown Cincinnati during that graduation. And I just want to tell you about a story, like a conversation I had with one of my. I mean, I saw him as a friend, but we were having. He didn't like it. I mean, he agreed that the cop should have got ran over. He said that was justice served, even though it wasn't the cop that took that man's life. And I told him like I was like, what if I was working in law enforcement, worked for that PD, and I was the one that got ran over? And he said, "You bleed blue like the rest of them." And you know that kind of hurt me because like I met this man's like his kids and stuff, played with his kids, like, and I already made that conscious decision that if anything happened to them, if he called me, I'm there. But yet you say I bleed blue like the rest of them. You wouldn't have cared if I got ran over for something I didn't do. So like that showed me that the hate is so deep as far as like the hate in the system or hate in law enforcement that you don't even see them as people, everyday people. And I kind of had to like back off on him because I'm like, that's insane. You basically said it would have been green light for me to get put down for the sake of a profession. And in my head, I'm thinking like I would protect you and your kid and your children if you ever needed me to. Like that's the type of man I feel like I am. I know I am. And yes, I might have like opinions that people don't like, but at the end of the day, like I will protect. I I think my God, like we all think we have a purpose for being here. I think my purpose is to protect people. I grew up watching Power Rangers, superheroes. I know it's niche, but at the end of the day, like I grew up watching that stuff, and I was like, I want to be that. Like when you call, I come to help, and if it leads to my demise, then so be it. And the fact that we are so hatred toward each other to where we're just okay with like innocence being murdered for the sake of something that happened somewhere else is insane. It's almost like it's I don't know. It's just like once he said that to me, I'm like, in this climate, I might stay just being armed security at a hospital. I don't know if I want to ever go back into policing. Like if the community hates police that much, you okay with a man that had nothing, didn't even work for the same department that's directing traffic to and there was a bunch of people bunch of people that I know in real life saying this on Facebook. I'm like, why would I want to go back into a profession where the people I know in real life, because the internet don't really like, it's not real life when you argue with people on Twitter and stuff, but like on Facebook is more personal because normally you know the people that you interact with. And when they were green lighting and just okay with that random cop getting ran over, I was like, oh no, like that opened my eyes to like, we might not be able to come back from this. I don't think there's no community policing. You go and shoot and hoop with the youth, like which I've done. Like that stuff ain't gonna help. Because if you get blasted while you sitting there shooting hoops, some people gonna be okay with that. They're gonna be like, well, there's another one down. Like
That was a good story, man. I appreciate that. Dang, somebody said that to you. Yeah, bro, he was cool with you dying. That's exactly what he said to you. Let me offer some solutions now. I get there's evil people regardless of what you do. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that, y'all, and I appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. We are the biggest, by the way. This is a great conversation because it's the conversation that we as the Black community want to have and we need to have. And I do have solutions as to how this can get better. But to address that particular situation, yeah, I was aware of it. I actually know the family who the son who got killed. You know what I'm saying? I know they family. They got a lot of money, and money doesn't justify. We didn't talk about that. Money doesn't justify what was done. And was that cop in the wrong? Did he get prosecuted? I forgot.
not that I know of.
Okay. I'm not familiar with the case. But a life was taken. And then yeah. So let's just clear the board. A cop that ain't have nothing to do with nothing, just getting ran over. Are you guilty by association? I assume so. But that's kind of like that's the same thing as far as like the same people that's saying that to me aren't any better than those racist whites that classify all Black people together. That's just how I feel about that. You know what I'm saying? That's the same exact. It's the same type of thing. Like, oh no, you look like them. It's kind of like that game banging stuff. Just because you in a car with them, you feel me? That's what you getting killed too. And that's tribalism right there for sure at its apex. So what do we do about that? This is my solution. This is a solo solution. My solution is this, bro, and I think it's really simple. And you said you alluded to it, but I think it needs to be mandatory. Like for example, if you are going to be in law enforcement, regardless, there needs to be mandatory introductions to the community. I think there needs to be at our local recreation centers and stuff like that. There needs to be weekly meetings as to what's going on in the community. What are we seeing out there? Who's doing what? You know what I'm saying? What to look out for, how to avoid getting harassed or whatever the case may be. Because at one point in time we did have stuff kind of like that, but it hasn't been something that's been mandatory. For me, Solar Man for president, what I suggest is that what we do is that we have this be mandatory, where again we know who our mayors are, we know who our city officials are, we know who our fire department is, we know who our police department is, we know, because I mean we live together. Even if y'all don't live in our neighborhoods, y'all work in our neighborhoods. That's essentially living together.
Yeah.
We have to deal with each other. So it's like I feel that there should be introduction cards sent to each house for city officials and stuff like that in the mail, meaning like an introduction card. Literally, hi, my name is Darius. This is this is what I like to do. This is where I'm from, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then again, there should be weekly every Friday. We need to have a meeting and discussion as to what's going on. And you can do that at your local rec center, so it's not all the way downtown. You know what I mean? But that would as far as those people though that just hate you just because you in the blue, that's just what it's gonna be. and I don't think that's ever going to change. Just the same way it's white folks that just regardless, you still a nigger. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Regardless of what you do, how much you take care of yourself, however you are, they always gonna see you a certain type of way. But I do believe and I do know that there are good people that want to help good people, regardless. There are good whites. There are. I know. I was raised by some good whites. I've had some good white teachers. I'm saying there are good. I have. Shout out to Mr. Riggington. I don't know if you're still teaching, but yeah, you was one of my favorite teachers ever. And Mrs. Isaacs too. I don't know if you're still teaching. You was one of my favorite teachers as well. Everybody else, so. Um, it's we're at a point now, and we can close on this, and then I'll let you leave any other topics or any closing remarks that you want to make. It's gonna be good people helping good people. That's just what this is boiling down to. It's not gonna be the blacks saving the blacks again. I think we've already tried that. I don't think it works. It's not going to be these protests, like for example, these protests, No Kings protests, these protests, I don't really think that they do anything at all. I think the only way to really disrupt enterprise is to affect the dollar and make it inconvenient for them to do business. So the only way I think this stuff is going to change is that if and when we really come together and say we're not going to spend our dollars no more, or we say as an institution, I mean as a community, policing included, that's really gonna affect it. If y'all say we're not working no more, oh my goodness, they would listen. But if our health workers, our government workers, like our local government workers, because they control where the dollars go and stuff in your cities, our local government workers, our blue collar workers, if everybody say that they not working and they're not paying taxes, that's when people listen. You know what I'm saying? So it's only gonna work when that happens. Do I see that happening anytime soon? I'm hopeful, bro, because a lot of people, even if you voted for him, like you said you did, and other people that have historically voted for him, a lot of them are at least agreeing as far as the decorum is wrong. You know what I'm saying? There's a right way to be in office. You know what I mean? Regardless of if that video was an accident or not. And yeah, I don't know if he posted that himself or not. Even if he did, that's kind of ratchet. I don't want my president. You know what I mean? That's just ghetto. You know. But regardless if he did that or not, there's it's embarrassing. It's an embarrassment. It's a bad precedent. You're not a good example just as far as a leader or a man, in my opinion. So I think it's going to be just good people doing good stuff for good people, and men taking care of and raising young men to be men, and women taking care and showing examples for young women to be women. That's what we got to get back to is community supervising, community raising. It's going to take a village again. So yeah, it's a lot of crazy things. That's crazy that you had somebody say that to you. But people say crazy stuff all the time, bro. But nah, he meant what he said though. And I believe that you know that he meant exactly what he said.
It was in the fact I know people say evil stuff, but I wasn't expecting it from someone
For sure. That you love.
It's different with somebody you love. Like you my homeboy. We supposed to be cool. So that's what made it like, oh damn, even you.
Yeah.
So if you think like this, what if the people that don't even know me think? They willing to actually act on it. So then that made me be like, man, I don't know.
Fuck around, run into you when
You know what I'm saying?
So that's a good point. So what the things that's good about times like this, people, and what COVID showed me this firstly as well, is that it shows the best or the worst out of people. You know what I'm saying? When COVID happened, I saw people who didn't need all that food clear out shelves and hoard and don't care about the next person. And then we all got bought to a level playing field. I kind of liked COVID for that reason. You know what I'm saying? The deaths and the diseases and all that stuff was bad. But as far as just everybody getting bought to the same level, I was like, oh, this is what's up. We all know what the real world is actually like. That we all, regardless of this house, regardless of your possessions and what you have monetarily, you're gonna die. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna be buried right next to each other. You know what I'm saying? So I like times like this because times like this, when it's volatile, when it's you can't anticipate what's gonna happen next. When it's like this, it shows the best or the worst out of people. So again, And that just leaves the solution and the formula simple: good people helping good people. I will close on this, and then I'll make sure that I don't have any comments left, and I'll let the gentleman close as well, or bring up anything else that he would like to discuss. I will close on this. It's all going to take good people helping good people. Um, I'm hopeful about times. But is it going to get worse before it gets better? Probably. If Trump is what we've got and what we have allowed, what's going to happen? And I kind of feel like Trump is like a double agent, because when you have stuff like this, then automatically you want to look for a savior, to get you out of this type of solution. So then that's when you see a wave of blue come, and then this is what I like about Trump, bro. He the type of white man. I'll say that, even though he's the first Jew president. I don't know if you heard him say that. He said that. He said that he's the first Jew president. Uh, he's the first super pro Israel president. This Jewish rabbi had his arm around him and was like, "Oh, he's the first Jew president." And Trump was like uncomfortable, and he was like, "Yeah, it's true." Anyways, Trump, he's a real. He don't let nobody talk to him any kind of way. So that was just crazy to me. Anyways, this is what I see happening. The fact that you have somebody like him who is incontinent. I don't know if you know that too. Is he that you know that he's incontinent?
Mm.
You know what that means?
No.
He can't hold his bowels.
Oh,
He wears a diaper.
okay.
I don't think my president should be incontinent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think there should be a physical fitness test, or at least a competency
He should
test.
be younger. Like I'm not
You feel me? You feel me?
I ain't afraid to say that. You know
You
what I
know,
mean? Like
he,
I said, I'm not a loyalist. I'm a realist. Like at the end of the day, yes, I wish they were younger. Yes, is he too old? Probably so. Actually, no, he is not probably.
Sleepy
Was our
Trump.
was our last one should have been on Life Alert? Yes, he should have been on the commercial.
For
Press
sure.
the button, then someone will come help you. Yes, for sure.
I agree on that for sure too. Like, Sleepy Joe is crazy. Falling upstairs is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Not knowing where you going is crazy. Like that scared me. I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, definitely not a good example for decorum. And then even then, bro, just because Obama spoke well doesn't mean that. So what I was getting to, he the type of these type of people like Trump, they'll tell you exactly how they feel to your face. I like people like that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. Let me know how despicable you find me, or how lowly you see me, or how good you see me. Right away. Let's not act. What people kind of want to get back to, and what they'll settle for is a institution or a system that kind of like it does it. Now we got to figure out what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure out if y'all for black people. We got to figure out if y'all for whatever the case may be. You're going to see more transgenderism too when Democrats get back into office. So it's like politics is the red and blue is both compromised. We need to get back to a place where we're holding our officials accountable. And the main thing is, the first thing is that I don't think our officials should be in no type of APAC situation. Because that seems to be, the main thing that's making these people devils. I'm closing on this point, y'all. This was a good conversation. We're talking to somebody who's been in law enforcement, somebody who's seen both sides of the field, and I thought it was interesting to talk to you, because you from my community as well, and I know you personally. I usually don't tell y'all stuff like that, but it was a good conversation. I might talk to a white officer next time. I think that'll be a real good conversation. But I enjoy the topic, and I enjoy your perspective. And no, people shouldn't be families shouldn't be falling out with each other over opinions. But also, it just goes to show you, just because you, my sister, my brother, my cousin, my auntie, my mama, my daddy, don't mean that we're like-minded, or we should be family. We might be family by blood, but we're not family by spirit, and that's unfortunate. But I, in my life and my experience, have seen that you know sometimes it's kind of like for the better when people expose who they are, and you can align yourself with people who are actually from your tribe. So that's kind of good, actually, that I've found in my life. But yeah, I appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm gonna let the gentleman close out, and if he wants to leave his socials for y'all can follow him or anything like that, he will do so.
All right, yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. It was a good conversation. I appreciate you having me on. I know I can give you like a small insight on like what it's like on that side of the fence and how they see the people and what can we work on both sides of the fence, because It ain't perfect. It ain't perfect on either side of the fence. Like I can't say everybody in the community are upbeat and honest people, and I can't say everybody in law enforcement. Even though I personally haven't met officers that I think are evil or that are bad, but that doesn't mean they ain't out there. Vice versa. But yeah, I think the better thing is like you said, good people helping good people. There's always gonna be bad people, and it might be the people you care about the most when they finally tell you that they are bad. And COVID has showed me personally that this thing we call society can crumble at any second. Your neighbor, they love and care, they wave at you every morning, but if it comes down to them feeding a family over you feeding yours, they gonna do what they think they need to do. And we have to realize that we got to try to keep this society thing going as much as possible, because any disaster or anything like that is going to be every man for themselves. And COVID has showed you a glimpse of that, the people buying up everything out the store. But just imagine if we ain't have enough food, more people be robbing and killing each other over it. We didn't have toilet paper, people was going crazy. Just imagine if that's food, medicine. People got kids and stuff. So it's crazy. Like, it's amazing that we have a society, like there's societies all around the world, and we came from, like, I call it the concrete jungle. At the end of the day, it's still survival of the fittest per se, but it's like, it's more civilized, it's better. Like, this is the right way. There's ways to make it better. There's corruption and stuff, and like you said, we need the right people in office, good people. But man, we don't never want to go back to the days where, where it's survival of the fittest, because there's a lot of unfit people that are only getting by for the fact that we have a society. And that could be me included. I'm glad we have a society. I never hunted for my own damn food before. I go to the grocery store just like you and me. So, like, but yeah, it's COVID has made me realize that this can all, by tomorrow, like, all this can be gone. Like, the whole nice little being polite, all that can be out the door. Is my family, you got more food than mine? Yeah, I'm about to come up in there and in your spot and take your stuff. That's how society is on, like a thin edge, is like where it can just be like boom, gone, society gone. But anyway, I don't know why I went out down that thing. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. It was a good conversation. And I feel like after talking to you, like, we kind of see similarities on a lot of points, and we don't we don't what's the word? We don't we don't sugarcoat what goes on in the community. If you wrong, you wrong. At the end of the day, white, black, Hispanic. If you wrong, you wrong. You shouldn't be advocating for murder of anybody unless they untouched children or something. Then maybe you gotta do what you gotta do. But at the end of the day, there's bad police officers. There's bad black people. You shouldn't be wanting all cops dead. You shouldn't want them defunded. ICE has a ICE is needed, but can they be better? Yes. I love black people. Can we be better?
Sure.
But for sure, we definitely, and we need to be, if in the grand scheme of things, we need to be at the end of the day. And like you said, like, we got to find more like-minded people that are like us. And sometimes they ain't gonna be family. And even though they blood, they might not have your best interests at heart. But yeah, I appreciate this conversation, man. I had a good time.
That's real, brother. You want them to follow me on Instagram?
I mean, you can if you want. I don't do another post workout stuff. Like, if you need help getting fit, for the revolution that y'all want to you go ahead and shoot me a follow, man. You know what I'm saying? Dang, what is my IG? I don't even know my IG now. You can follow me on Facebook at Darius Price, or you can follow me on Instagram at I had to make a new one. Oh, it's DEARRIUS. Last name's Price. You can follow me on IG at Leonte, LEONTE _94.
I'm gonna post that in comments.
Yeah, and you can go ahead and give me a follow. If you need, honestly, I really love helping people reach their fitness goal, because being physically fit helps you, not physically and looking good. That's like the icing on the cake, but mentally, like, if you struggle with like loving yourself and stuff, like mentally, I'm telling you, once you, like, when you lift that iron and stuff and fight them demons, oh my goodness, you just feel better about yourself. And also, like you said, like, I don't insult people in comments, because I love myself too much. I love myself to do that kind of stuff. So if you need help, fitness journey, I don't DM me. If you live in Cincinnati or in Ohio, if you want to go get a workout in, I don't mind. I normally work out by myself, but I don't mind working out with other people. hit my line. I want everybody to eat. The people around me to eat. If you like minded, good person, I want you to eat too. And if I can help you achieve like your fitness goals, hey, hit my line. I got you.
That was raw, bro. I appreciate you doing that. And yeah, bro, I got a community that I'm building over here. So yeah, I might if you interested, need you for some training and stuff of said community, because this is a content house, you know, it's not much going on here right now, but I got ideas and we're building. So yeah, bro. This was a really good conversation, y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to double tap the screen, like, comment, share, subscribe, hype the video up if and when you get a chance. If you like our content, let me know what you think about the content in the comments below. Until next time, y'all have the day that y'all deserve because you earned it. I love y'all with the love of Christ. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.